Hi, everyone. In this show, we're going to discuss the art of inbound marketing and how to keep improving your conversions to sales. So welcome to the Marketing Ideas That Connect show. I'm your host, Gary Bolt. It's always good to be back to talk about what's trending in our agency, what occupies our minds, and how we're helping our customers. Today, we're discussing AI marketing applications with Quinton Jacobs. Quinton runs a company called ROI from AI, and it's been very interesting. I've been attending his workshops and training for probably the last 6 months or more. And we've learned a lot from Quinton, how AI can actually help us. So Quinton, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Gary, and thanks for having me. I'm excited about this show because, as you know, I'm quite passionate to talk about AI, so I'll talk to anyone about it.
Yeah, Quinton, you've come a long way, and I must say you really helped us in our thinking and what we're doing with AI in our agency. So we are sponsored by the digital marketing agency, Famous Digital Media. You can visit their website at famousmedia.co.za. They are Google partners and have a focus on paid media and content creation. Here at Marketing Ideas That Connect, I'll start again. Here at Marketing Ideas, we are Google Ad and inbound consultants that assist our customers to build their digital marketing strategies, making sure we bring order and structure and align to their objectives. Plus the basic setup of all the metric panels, G4, GTM, Google Console, and all the rest of it to make sure that we all stay on track. So welcome to episode 193. Today we've got 10 points to discuss. And I think, like I say, I've learned a lot from Quinton and from all these AI tools. They really are moving the needle. We're definitely using some of them. I think we have to be careful that we don't get lost in the maze of the hype. And there's just so many tools, we're not sure what to use and what paid platforms to use. So I'm going to let Quinton go through I'm going to ask him 10 questions, and I'm sure we're going to learn from this. And Quinton, let's get stuck right in.
Absolutely. Let's get going.
Yeah, okay. Point number one, Quinton, is this, and we've been working with this, and I'd like your idea and your perspective on Google Workspace, where you put all the Google tools together and there's a bit of AI. Tell us just briefly what the advantages of using Google Workspace for a smallish company or an average size company.
Yeah, absolutely. Google Workspace has been around a long time, Gary. So I think it's been a powerful tool, and a lot of businesses run their business on Google Workspace for a long time and found it useful, up from corporate enterprise business down to SMEs. All kinds of businesses are using Google Workspace. And the nice thing about it, it's got all the productivity tools sort of integrated. You got your sheets, you got your slides, and all of those sort of tools ready to go. But now what's changed with AI is they've introduced Gemini, and Gemini has given even more capabilities to these different tools. So, the usual sort of help me write tools, help me design, all of those things are now integrated in Google Workspace. So I think it's just making it more and more valuable and useful to business people.
Yeah, thanks. We're starting to see the value of it. So it's something we recommend, and it's like people are here to learn and we all learn together. So it's something, have a look at it, check out Google Workspace. I think that can help you. Number two, Quinton, is perplexity. Now, I know you've spoken a lot about this perplexity and it's finding knowledge in the right place. Just give us a brief overview of the advantages of perplexity and why would you use it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm very excited about perplexity, and I personally use it a lot. I obviously started, like most people, with ChatGPT, and have seen huge benefits out of using ChatGPT. But I think what Perplexity basically is, it has the best of both worlds. It has the capabilities of a large language model or a chatbot like ChatGPT, but it also brings in search into the component. So you basically have AI search or search AI, whichever one you want to call it. So it gives you that capability of having live data and being connected to the internet. And when you're doing research or writing any piece, it actually brings all of that stuff together. And it also gives you the links to the citations of of where that content is coming from. So you can always verify and make sure it's not some sort of hallucination that from AI. So Perplexity has really really grown pretty quickly over the last while. It's had some issues in terms of being where it gets its content from, but I think it's growing, and it's got more and more functionality that's coming into it, which we won't discuss today because we don't have time. But if you attend my weekly sessions, we talk about all the functionalities quite often. But I love Perplexity. Yeah.
I must ask you this, Quentin. I know, the thoughts around, is it competition to Google search? I think that's the big question a lot of us agencies are asking. What is your view on that?
I definitely think it will be some competition, because people are, already switching from searching on Google because they don't want links to the result. They just want the answer. So people are getting spoiled with AI. So they want to, a lot of people are starting to search in ChatGPT or search or asking for answers. Now what Perplexity does, it actually brings it together. It allows you to search. It still gives you the links to the sources if you want to go read the whole article or content somewhere else, but it gives you the answer in that same space. And I think other companies have actually reacted to Perplexity because a lot of them are coming up with the same thing. Bing is now doing the same thing, where they put your blue links on the side and they give you your answer in another panel. ChatGPT has launched this a search component as well. So I do think Perplexity has kind of led the way in terms of search AI.
Well, remember that in Google search, there's an element of Gemini already. So
yeah.
I'm just standing up for Google search because that's what we do.
Absolutely. But it's interesting with Google Gemini, for instance, if you type it into your Google search, it appears as your answer in sort of the middle of the block, just above the links. So it's just a little bit of realignment, or that your user interfaces looks a little bit different. So it's more user-friendly to have the links on the side, and your answer is right there in front of you.
Yeah. And then the next point, Colin, that the software or the tool or the platform called PoE, it seems to aggregate various AI softwares that are out there. Just your short story on PoE and why would we use it?
Yeah, absolutely. I've also been using Poe almost from the beginning. Just after ChatGPT was launched, Poe came out with an offering, and as you said, it's an aggregator. Now there's quite a few aggregators out there. Actually, Poe is not the only one. But what I found useful in the beginning with Poe is that you can create a little chatbot for yourself. That was even before OpenAI came up with GPTs. They had these little chatbots that you could just give it instructions and tell it how to react, and maybe give it a little bit of a knowledge as well, and it would respond to you every time. So it's like saving a prompt almost in Poe. But now the huge benefit is that you can literally choose which large language model you would use. So you can ask the same question of ChatGPT 4o or Claude or Gemini, or now even with Meta's Meta Lama 3.1. All of that stuff gets rolled out pretty quickly in Poe. So you don't have to go sign up for those and pay for them. You could just play with them inside of Poe. So very useful tool.
Then just on that, actually I saw it this last week. We were talking Gemini, Google Gemini, the new Flash. I know that in Workspace you have to pay $20 to use Gemini.
Yeah.
Now I see new Flash has been discounted 70%. So that's is it something that you would recommend to look at if you want to go Gemini and start with maybe a smaller?
Yeah, I think it's a good place to start. I think you basically, getting that cheaper rate, because not everybody needs this uber big large language or chatbot that knows everything about everything and can can do your analytics and that sort of. Some of us just want, the chatbot to help us summarize something and maybe write our emails a little better. So why do we need to pay the same rate as somebody that uses all those functionalities? So Flash is basically just brought it down and made it a simpler and cheaper tool, but also faster. It actually reacts faster than the bigger models. So it's definitely, I'd say it's a good starting place. But even if you don't need to, as I said, need a very big large language model, that's Flash is a good one to start with.
Okay, that's good advice. I think we're going to bring that into our Google Workspace. And then just the Copilot, I know we spoke about it a lot in your workshops. Copilot, Microsoft, just your, what do you think about that? Is it more business orientated?
Yeah, I think Copilot, obviously the benefit of Copilot, if you're already a Microsoft user and you're used to PowerPoint, you're used to Excel, you're used to Word, now you've got that extra functionality, just like in Google Workspace. So, but I think, yeah, as you said, it's maybe a little bit more of a business use case within that, because most of the users are enterprise or corporate users. So I would recommend it for those kind of people. But I think at the end of the day, as they said, the chatbots or the large language models are going to become almost a what's the word? It's just a price game. So it's a commodity is the word I'm looking for. So it's basically those are going to be commodities, but it's how they're applied in their different use cases. And that's where I think, Copilot will still continue to make strides, because they already have millions and billions of people signed up on Microsoft's Office, the tools and those sort of things. But I think just in terms of use cases, it is maybe a little bit more for analytical types, and they need a strong Excel and those sort of things.
So it actually augments your whole Microsoft suite of products. So that's positive for them. Just number 7 is the Meta AI. Now, I know I also got that link from you, and I've been using Meta AI for it's done some quite radical images for us. It's also, you can build certain things on it. It's got a nice information on some strategy information we were looking for. What is it's Lama 3 or whatever it is from Meta AI? Just your comments on that.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point to raise, since we're talking about commodities, because large language models being a commodity, because that's where Mark Zuckerberg is going with their large language model, which is Lama 3.1 at the moment. And it's an open source model. So basically, anybody can use their model for free, as well as developers can actually build and improve on the Lama 3 model, because it's open source. So that's a huge benefit, and it opens the market up quite well, as opposed to the closed models, which ChatGPT is. So yeah, I think it gives another opportunity for a lot of people to get access to these tools and build free stuff for ourselves, and also because 3.1, the previous models of Llama wasn't so good, so people were a little bit not skeptical about it. But the 3.1 is definitely powerful enough, in some cases beating ChatGPT 4.0 in performance. So yeah, it's a great option to go with.
So actually, Quinton, what you're saying is if someone's starting out and starting to test these models, Meta AI is a good place to start, actually, and just play around with it, make some images, use the chat option and chatbots. So that is quite a good thing. So yeah, thanks for that. And then just on that, we were talking about video, text to video, and you spoke about Sora, and you said, just give us some context about Sora. I think you said there are a few others coming up, but is that quite something that you'd use?
Yeah, I think it's so exciting, this development space, because text to video, or Sora came out with that launch a couple of months ago, where they showed this incredibly realistic videos and stuff that you could literally create little movies or little clips just from describing what it is that you want to see. So Sora, really made waves with that. But in the meantime, they haven't launched it yet officially and made it available to everybody. So in the meantime, the competition is kind of caught up. Runway 3.1 is another tool that comes to mind. There's one called Kling. There's actually quite a few of these models that's come out now with a similar capability and showing off the similar tools and made it available for people to play with. So maybe if Sora is going to come out and maybe cost us a little bit, maybe in the meantime we get used to playing with these other tools that are cheaper and that are free to use, that when Sora comes out, we can decide whether we actually have a use case for this in our businesses. But the other thing about Sora, if ChatGPT 5 comes out soon, which there are a lot of rumors about, maybe by the time this podcast comes out, ChatGPT 5 will be out, then Sora might be included into that as a capability. You'll have DALL-E 3, which is already also much better as an image generator, and all of the other functionality of ChatGPT. So as we always say, Gary, I can recommend a tool for you today, but next week it all might change.
Yeah, we got to keep learning. But that Sora it's quite extreme, because you type in what you're looking for, like a big river in a forest, and bam, there's a video of it. It's just, and add a horse, and there's a horse riding through. It's absolutely amazing. And we're testing it a lot through the images and videos, and
yeah,
if that's where we are now, imagine in a year or two where it's going to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Quentin, as we start wrapping up, just you spoke a lot about agents. You gave us some lessons on ChatGPT 3 and what's happening with 4, but you spoke a lot about building an agent for your, like we were talking about an intranet for your business, like a chatbot. Because I kept saying, well, what about Siri? Siri's, I better not say too much, it'll start talking to me, but that's everyone knows that. But a chatbot for a business, just tell us about, is it hard to build? What's an agent, and why would you build an agent for your business?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's one of the first business cases that people sort of recognize that is something useful, because a lot of people nowadays are spoiled. We don't want to go to a website and look through all the tabs to find out what the price of a product is before you buy it. You just want to ask the question and get an answer. And that's where, if you can put a chatbot on your website, it's a major benefit. And yes, it's getting easier and easier to do. So not that long ago, you needed to go to a developer and ask them to build a chatbot for you. Now there's a lot of tools. You mentioned Siri. I've spoken of one called Chatbase, for instance. These are all where you can literally add a little bit of code, which you don't need to write for yourself, onto your website, and you're going to have a chatbot there. ChatGPT's assistants, or what they call GPTs, is a little chatbot that you also build. They're very easy to put together, but however, you can't place that on your website without having another piece of software that you can link that bot to. So you still need something to put onto your website, a third-party kind of piece of software. But it's a nice one if you want to use it internally. Let's say in your business, you put it on a team account for ChatGPT so that everybody can see the same bot that you've created. And all it is really is you tell it what you want it to do. You give it some very specific instructions, like a prompt, and you give it a knowledge base. You upload your company's policy documents or whatever it is that the functionality is going to be, and you deploy it, and you can use it like that. So the GPTs I find super useful. I've got tons of GPTs that I've built myself, just for myself, and that are made public. But I've also used a lot of the ones that are public already. They're super useful tools. But if you're talking about chatbots on the website, I just go with some of those other ones that are ready-made ones.
Yeah, I think it's in the last few years we've seen everybody needs a chatbot. I believe that, and because sometimes they don't want to fill in a form, and the phone, people don't like phoning. A chatbot's the easiest, quickest way to communicate with the company. We use them a lot, and we're bringing it into all our clients. We just built a big e-commerce site, and we put chatbots on it, and it's working great.
Perfect.
because you just got to make sure you tie it up correctly in the back and train it. So chatbots is something we all need to learn more about. So Quentin, just in summary now, give us a summary of just marketing tools, like just a summary, a few minutes of just, your advice to marketers, guys, and agencies like us, your advice to us.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think, marketing is one of the first or one of the best places in a business a department where AI can make a massive difference, and you can see significant gains in productivity, performance, creativity, all of those things that you can get out of AI. So the obvious places that most people are talking about is content creation. Yeah, we all know that you can write blogs, you can write social media posts, you can write great product descriptions for your e-commerce store, the usual copywriting, design, video production, all of that stuff can now be done with AI. And the one big thing that I've seen is because I know from being in marketing myself, that it's always difficult to sort of repurpose content or to be on too many platforms in the same time. AI now allows you to take one piece of video and turn it into shorts, into reels, into podcasts, and to transcribe that same video into blog posts, into newsletters, into social media articles. So the list is endless. We could literally, with one piece of content, be on a ton of different platforms and be visible and build our audience in that way. So I think AI is a must-have for marketing departments. It's no longer nice to have. So I think the best way is just to get stuck in and to learn. And if you're in a company, appoint somebody that is in charge of AI, and that's going to help you roll it out in your company.
Thanks, Quentin. Just to wrap up, I think if you could just tell in our audience where they can find you. Quentin's an AI consultant. As you can hear, he lives it every single day, and we attend his class, his training class on a Thursday afternoon at 4 o'clock, and we learn every single week. We learn about more capabilities and functionalities and all these things that we could start applying. So if anybody else wants to join us in these training groups, I was going to say training camp, but it's not like it's a camp, I suppose. But over to you, Quentin. Where can people find you? I will put the link in the show notes, but just Tell us about your ROI for AI and what you teach.
Yeah, so the name of of my consultancy, as well as these groups, is called ROI from AI, because I believe that it's not just about the very next shiny tool, but it's actually extracting value and making sure that whatever you invest time and money into the tools, that you get ROI from it. So you can find me on a website called ROI from AI.biz. And then if you want to be invited to these groups, it's ROI from AI.biz/guests. And so we'll put the link into the show notes as well, so that everybody can, if you click on that link, or just fill in your information, I'll send you an invite. They are exclusive invites, just on Zoom invites. So that's how you can find me. And then further to that, those meetings are for free, but I also have some training that I do in consultancy with businesses. So if you're interested in talking to me about that and coming to your company and doing an introduction and helping you implement AI into your business, that's what I can do.
Thanks, Gordon. We joined as members and we learn, like I say, every single Thursday. There's tutorials that you go through, because I must say there is a lot to learn. And when I look at all our normal panels with the AI creeping into every single thing we do, even building ads on Google, we see the AI coming into it. So it's something that we have to learn about. And thanks very much for being on the show. And I think we'll do it again. There's so much more I want to ask you about. There's the security issues on this AI. There's where's it going? Maybe a bit of training. So I think we'll chat again next month and see what we can help our audience with. So thanks for being on the show, Quentin.
Fantastic. Thank you for the invite, Gary. See you soon.
See you soon, man. So today, as we wrap up, our acronym for the day is DSA. What does that stand for? And it stands for Dynamic Search Ads, which is the standard now in Google search. They're dynamic, they change to the search. So for more episodes, you can find us on Spotify or iTunes. Search for marketing ideas that connect. If you've enjoyed this episode, give us a like, a comment, a rating. Maybe you can send me a link, send me a request, and we can ask Quinton to tell us more about AI. I've seen that we're all learning this. You can follow Famous Digital Media on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Read more about this topic under their blogs. All links referenced in this episode, as well as Famous Media's social pages, can be found in the show notes, and I'll put Quinton's ROI business on there as well, so we can join him and keep learning from him, because it's something that we have to do. Our focus here at Marketing Ideas has always been paid media and how to position your brand and message, and to keep learning. So if you need assistance with setting up, auditing, or planning your Google ads or your inbound marketing strategy, my address is gary@inbound-leads.co.za. Until next time, stay hungry, think big, and honor God.